All right. So this is the June 11th, 2024 Hardin County Fiscal Court regular voting meeting. Let's begin and call this meeting to order. And we'll have the roll call.
Squire Clem.
Here.
Squire Hicks.
Here.
Squire Muse.
Here.
Squire Pennington.
Here.
Squire Saltzman.
Here.
Squire Thompson.
Here.
Squire Whitehead. Here. Squire Yates.
Here.
Judge Executive Keith Tall.
Here. Next will be our invocation by Magistrate Saltzman and Pledge of Allegiance by Magistrate Whitehead.
Father God, we thank you for this day that you've given us. We thank you for the beautiful weather outside. I thank you for these gentlemen and young lady next to me here, Lord, that are here to make decisions for Hardin County. I pray, Lord, that you would be with us today. Help us to make the decisions that are good and right and that would glorify you. I pray that everything that's said and done today would be glorified to you. And Father, I pray for the Wiseman family. We've lost a great man for Hardin County. I just pray that you be with his family and be with us today. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, again, thanks again for joining today, and very honored to have several folks showing up here with uniforms on. So we'll get into that here in a few minutes. Let's go ahead and just review the agenda at this point. Fairly typical agenda. We do have a few extra things on here. The minutes, we'll approve those next. We have some presentations from a couple of different departments here that we'll go through. And after that, we'll have a time for any citizens' concerns or comments. We have a couple of ordinances that we need to vote on, and a consent agenda that I'll review in a little more detail and vote on that. And then we have our comments time. And then we do have a closed session at the end right before we adjourn. Okay, so that's our agenda. I do want to take a moment, and Magistrate Saltzman in his prayer mentioned that we have a friend to our community, Bill Wise, and that he has passed away, and I know it's a big loss for many people, including this county, serve this county, and city of Elizabethtown in many ways. So I do want to have a time of silence just to remember him and his family. But before that, there's several magistrates that I believe have served with him, know him, and I do want to take a little bit of time, if they don't mind, to speak, and if there's anything that you want to say at this point.
I'd like to say just a quick thing. I met Bill several years ago when he was on the court, and I was running, and he was always very supportive of me and to me. Very pleasant man to be around and to talk with, and I just appreciate all the support and nice things and ideas that he gave me. After I was elected, we had a vote, and I gave him a call and asked for some advice, and he gladly shared it with me, and I just appreciate him.
All right, thank you.
Bill and I, we were colleagues on the court for 12 years, and we were friends. He was a stand-up guy. He, excuse me. Bill was full of life, and he was a joy to be around. we made some tough decisions on that court those 12 years, and I'll always consider it a very special group. I think we made some of the hardest decisions that any court will ever have to make, but Bill never shied one time from those decisions. And when he made his mind up, and he let you know how he felt about it, he never wavered. He was a man of his word, and he loved this community. He loved his family. He had a circle of friends probably unlike anybody, and we will surely miss Bill. And the public service that he's done for this community for years and years and years will still be obvious to all of us and to generations to come. And you rarely ever saw Bill that you didn't see Patty. So this is really going to be a transition for Patty. And I just ask the community to lift her up in your thoughts and your prayers. Not only Patty, but his son and daughter and the rest of the family. He will certainly be missed, and he was loved.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Bill was a man of service. He saw a community and saw a place where he could contribute, and he stayed the course. His life was totally devoted sacrificially to these communities, to Hardin County, and then served on Elizabeth County City Council. Continues to serve with the same kind of integrity. A man that once he signed on something, made it clear that was the course he was taking, he took it. He was fun to be around. Patty and my wife Ann and Bill, privileged to spend time together, and we've become close over the years. Just spent 12 years sitting beside a gentleman who we would frequently elbow to sharpen the other. As iron sharpens iron, so does one man sharpen another. And Bill was that kind of man, always looking toward the good, always seeing past the immediate for what the possibilities are, and moving toward it. Praise God for the opportunity. Known him to ask that you keep family in your prayers. It's hard to handle. Just for them. In your prayers. Thank you.
Thank you.
I've known Bill knew Bill for several years as just a community partner, someone that was a servant and had a servant heart. He was, in my opinion, he was kind of like a quiet gentleman. He had an opinion, yes, and he stuck to that and with conviction, but he was also a gentleman. He was a quiet soul. He was very encouraging to me when I was running for election for this seat, and gave me a lot of good advice, as he did to Magistrate Salzman, but I knew him well through the Lions Club also, and he will be missed by many folks, and I know his family will certainly have a hole for many years to come. But he was an amazing man.
The seat kind of feels like there's a hole in it. Bill, I can honestly say that Bill is the reason why I ran to be a magistrate. I used to joke with Bill, say, "Oh man, what are you wearing a suit for in the middle of the day?" I never understood what he did, right? I never understood what his job was. And after I saw that he was hanging it up, I just felt the conviction to run, and I would always call Bill, ask him his advice. Yes, he was a Democrat and I was a Republican, but that didn't matter to him. He knew whenever I told him that I was going to run, he said, "Well, I can't support you. I've got a few other friends," but he said, "I'll always be here for you, no matter what." And after the primaries, and he's like, "You got my vote." And every time I talked to him, he made sure to reassure me that I was doing the right thing, and he was proud of me. And he was just at my house the other day, hanging out with my kids. He's my neighbor. So just to always have that encouragement from Bill. Every time I go to Hall Supply and see him down there, he would always mess with me there. It's just, he's such a good stand-up gentleman. And to always have someone like that in your corner definitely gives you some reassurance that you can do anything. So definitely will be missing Bill. And just thinking about Patty and the family right now.
Okay. Anybody else?
Judge, not to take anything away from Bill, I didn't know Bill real well, but, we lost another good man here in Hardin County, and I would just like to say something good about him.
Okay.
Dwight Preston. He was a county attorney for several years. He's been a lawyer here in Elizabethtown ever since he got out of college. Me and Dwight started school first grade together, and we've been friends all through these years. I could tell you some good stories about Dwight back in his teenage years, but he was always a friend. He never changed. We had our class reunion last year, and he was the same then as he was when we graduated. I know he's going to be missed by a lot of people in Hardin County, surrounding counties. And I just want to reach out to his family. I know he's going to be missed. I'm going to miss him. He was a good friend.
All right, thank you. All right, well, thank you all for doing that. And let's just take a moment of silence. Those that want to pray, please do, for the families, and really being grateful to our God for providing both of these gentlemen to our community and the service that they have provided to each one of us, even if we didn't know it. So let's just do that right now. All right, thank you very much. All right, so we'll try to make a transition here and move into our department or office reports. Our first presentation, and is Mr. McNutt here today? I think he was sick.
Minutes.
Minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Thank you for that. Skip the minutes. So we need a motion to approve the Hardin County Fiscal Court May 28th, 2024 minutes.
So moved.
Patsy, and second? Who was seconded? Okay, Mr. Muse over here. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Squire Clem.
Yes.
Squire Hicks.
Yes.
Squire Muse.
Yes.
Squire Pennington.
Yes.
Squire Saltzman.
Yes.
Squire Thompson.
Yes.
Squire Whitehead.
Yes.
Squire Yates.
Yes.
Judge Executive Keith Tall.
Yes, motion passes. All right, sorry about that. Then we'll go on into, I think Mike is out sick, and I believe there's some sickness over there in that department, so we'll postpone this presentation until the next meeting. Move on into our emergency management. Joey Scott.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Going to do something a little different today on my presentation. I'm going to present really quick about my month of May here, that our significant actions we took this month. Then I'm going to go into a special presentation of some emergency responders today that's joined us here. and really blessed to have them all here today. So at the end of my presentation, I'll have Sheriff Ward and Pat Elmore, Corner Pat Elmore, come up and speak a little bit as well. So, all right. Just kind of touch on our meetings for the month of May. Thyra meeting, that was the threat hazards identification, risk assessment training in Bowling Green, Kentucky. We had this month. Attended a homeless Hardin County meeting. Also attended a hazard vulnerability assessment meeting with Lincoln Trail Health Department. We also had emergency planning committee with Blue Oval SK. We've had quite a few ongoing meetings with Blue Oval SK, and they've been very successful, and I do appreciate the magistrates for showing up for those as well. May 14th, we had Hardin County Emergency Service Study meeting. Just a little bit of information on the emergency service study. It's underway now. We've had great communications with the ESCI, who's performing the study, and a lot of good feedback from them. A lot of good feedback from the Hardin County Fire Departments as well as Hardin County EMS. Really appreciate all their hard work on getting the information out to us. On May 22nd, we attended the US 62 Mulberry Improvement Project stakeholders meeting, which was very informative about the future of our roadways and how it's going to affect the emergency services of Hardin County as well. On May 23rd, Volunteer Firemen's Insurance, that's VFIS, insurance meeting with Judge Tall, and that was to kind of critique our insurance that we pay out to for the Hardin County Fire Departments and how we could lower percentage, and I think we had a very successful meeting, and it went from potential 23% increase down to an 8%, so we were very pleased with that meeting, so thank you, Judge, for meeting with them. On May 24th, Emergency Response Team met with Kentucky Fire Commission and Blue Oval SK at the ECTC, and that was a very productive meeting as well. On emergency incident responses, we had we responded to a fatal accident on WK Parkway at the 126 mile marker. Tractor trailer at the 90 mile marker leaking fuel. We actually had to activate the Emergency Operations Center due to some severe weather events we've had in the last month. It seems like that's a reoccurring event for us lately. But I do appreciate all the help and support from Hardin County EMS and everybody that pitches in to help us with that. So, and we had multiple conference calls with National Weather Service during this time frame, and we do appreciate them keeping us updated here in Hardin County with the upcoming weather events in our area and how it's going to affect Hardin County. It helps us plan our schedule out and our agenda out, how we're going to operate at the EOC. All right. And that's it for my presentation. I'll ask for questions now if you all have any questions for me before we go into our presentation. Okay, thank you for, and at this time, Judge, would Fiscal Court like to come down front here?
Yeah,
okay.
I think that'd be appropriate, yes.
I appreciate it.
If y'all could join me down front.
Corner Pat Elmore. I'll introduce him real quick. Mr. Elmore is going to present some certificates of appreciation on behalf of Hardin County Fiscal Court and then to the Valley Creek Fire Department. This time I'll turn it over to Mr. Elmore.
Don't have really a lot prepared here. We come up with this. We wanted to do something to recognize our responders. It's not just the ones in this courtroom. We don't realize until we respond to these multiple incidents. Every week we come, or every 2 weeks we come in here and we talk about incidents that we responded to. And there's a lot of nameless faces out there, so we're just going to see a few of them, and we hope we don't slight anybody. But there was an incident that occurred that the Valley Creek Fire Department responded to. You guys are going to come up here. There's a lot more to it than just responding with the red lights. Once the red lights and the sirens are shut off, these guys go home and they have a thankless job. I've been on both sides. To give you a brief, they assisted at a death scene. There was a very in-depth scene. There was some biohazards there, and they not only assisted with the families, but they also assisted with scene remediation. So very much appreciated, guys. Are we missing a couple, I think? Joey, would you like to present these? And again, guys, I really appreciate the help. And again, it's very much appreciated to have you
We're going to take a picture up here. Guys, if y'all would step forward, take a picture of Fiscal Court. Pat, I want you to- yeah.
There you are. I was like, where did he go? Great.
Guys, if y'all could please remain up here at Fiscal Court, thanks. Yeah, sure. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Okay, and I'm going to turn it over to Sheriff John Ward here in a minute. Talk about, just keep in mind, this is what we want the community to see, because so many things happen behind the scenes that no one ever gets recognition for. So I really appreciate everybody coming today. So, Sheriff, it's all yours.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Y'all come on in there. It's my distinct honor to have the opportunity to publicly express my gratitude and commend Deputy James Opie Sherrard, Deputy Nick Cron, and Lieutenant Taylor Miller for their extraordinary act of bravery and quick thinking that resulted in saving a life. On May the 5th, 2024, these deputies demonstrated exceptional courage and selflessness while working a fatal collision on the Western Kentucky Parkway. At 10:51 p.m., these deputies were contacted by Hardin County Control and dispatched to a fatal collision involving two vehicles on the Western Kentucky Parkway at the 126-mile marker. Unit 1, a vehicle had entered the parkway going eastbound in the westbound lane at White Mills. And at the 126-mile marker, it collided head-on with another vehicle, which started a fire. These deputies arrived quickly thereafter and noticed the vehicles there on fire, and they quickly acted. The deputies went to the vehicle that was on fire. They had already seen that the driver of the other vehicle was deceased. They went to the vehicle that was on fire. One deputy had a fire extinguisher, and the other two deputies, the vehicle was upside down. They broke out a rear window, climbed in, and got this man out of a burning vehicle, while the other deputy with the fire extinguisher sprayed the car and also sprayed the victim, because he was actually on fire when they pulled him out. His clothing was on fire. They sprayed him, got the fire put out, and got him to a safe location where he was later flown to University of Louisville Burn Center with, I think, over 75% of his body burnt. But I think he's recovering. He's got a long road to go, but he's recovering well. These deputies' unwavering commitment to help others in a time of crisis is truly commendable and serves as a shining example of heroism and compassion. Their quick actions and ability to remain calm under pressure undoubtedly made a significant difference in the outcome of a bad situation. Their dedication to service and willingness to go above and beyond the call of duty embodies the values of the Hardin County Sheriff's Office and reflect positively on all those involved. It is truly an honor to work alongside deputies of this caliber, and I want to commend Deputy Sherrard, Deputy Cron, and Lieutenant Miller for their bravery, quick thinking, and selfless actions. Your heroism will not be forgotten. Thank you all.
right here in front. Let me get down this end. I always stand by real tall guys. I didn't move in here somebody my size.
You see? We can move up. Let's just move up. Oh, wow.
Right here.
Thank you very much, Fiscal Court, for letting us present today. I really appreciate it. So, thank you all. That's all I have, Judge.
All right, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Appreciate it. All right, next we'll move on into planning, zoning ordinance text amendment. Adam King will present.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
All right, so I've got a text amendment to the county zoning ordinance that I'd like to present to you all. This went before the Planning Commission on May 21st. Essentially here we have KRS 100.211 that outlines the procedures for amending the text of our zoning regulations. Essentially a public hearing before the Planning Commission. Planning Commission makes a recommendation to Fiscal Court, and then Fiscal Court would ultimately amend the ordinance in the form of a new ordinance. Just a copy of our public notification that ran in the News Enterprise on Saturday, May 11th for the public hearing that we held on May 21st. And to kind of get in the nuts and bolts, and I'm not sure what happened with our formatting here, but I'll do the best I can. So the big amendment is a reduction in the minimum lot size in the rural area. So that's a copy of our zoning map there on the right. So the neon green, if you will, so most of the county is zoned rural residential R2. At the adoption of zoning in 1995 through 2009 with our current zoning ordinance, the minimum lot size out in the rural area was 1 acre with 200 foot of road frontage. In 2009, kind of in reaction to some of the things going on with the economy, we increased that minimum lot size in the rural area to 3 acres with 200 foot of road frontage. The purpose of that was to guide development closer in towards our cities where some of the infrastructure is better, there's more utilities, etc. So from 2009 to present, we've been at a 3 acre minimum with 200 foot of road frontage. So the proposal today is to reduce that sort of to a happy medium of 1.8 acres. That's 80,000 square foot with 200 foot of road frontage. So urban area R1, you've got 40,000 square foot, 9/10 of an acre with 100 foot of road frontage. Rural area R2, you got 80,000 square feet with 200 foot of road frontage. So essentially double the size. So why now? So you're all familiar with the Chamber of Commerce and Baptist Hardin and the Community College and the Industrial Foundation and this Luke Schmidt study that came out a year ago. So essentially it said with Blue Oval, we have potentially up to 22,380 new folks moving to Hardin County by 2025. So where are we going to house all these folks? It says that we need 8,811 housing units by 2025. So that was the first why now. Looking at our single-family dwellings, the past 5 years out in the county, we've averaged about 138 new homes. You'll kind of see a 10, 11-year trend there. Below that, We've done as many as 173 in 2020 during COVID. We've done as low as 99 during 2014, 2015. A lot of it is just the availability of lots. If we had lots out in the county, the builders are ready to build homes and people are ready to buy those homes. And then the map there on your right, that's 2023. You can see, even with that 3-acre minimum lot size, folks are still building homes out in the county. It's just we're consuming more farmland with that 3-acre minimum than we need to. In fact, as busy and bustling as E-Town's getting, there's a lot of folks that may want to move from E-Town and move out to county to kind of have their little slice of heaven or piece of the pie. Another why now is this Kentucky Housing Corporation supply gap study that was just released. So this doesn't even take Blue Oval and its workers into account, but it says that currently in Hardin County, we are 4,578 housing units short of where we need to be. That breaks down to about 2,230 rental and 2,258 for sale. The chart on the right there, you'll see that looking at areas, we are number 6 in the state. So just above Franklin County and Frankfort and just below Warren County, Bowling Green. So we have a tremendous supply gap in housing. So to break down the text amendment, it's kind of twofold. The first there you'll notice is the language for the rural residential zone R2. So we're removing 3 acres, replacing that with 80,000 square feet. The other thing there, the text in green below that, in 2009 when we adopted the zoning ordinance, we erroneously left off where we don't have public water, you need a 3-acre minimum lot size to have a well. So we're throwing that in there. Again, that was just an oversight that we left it off. The other side there is something we've been using called open space subdivision design. This has been heavily used so that folks could do less than 3-acre lots in the rural area on an averaging system. And we want to continue to allow that, but we really only want to allow that for new subdivisions with streets. Sort of a concept known as conservation design. I would have changed the name to conservation design, but then I would have been amending 50, 60 plus pages in the ordinance everywhere it said open space, and I decided, you know what, it's not worth it. So open space design is now going to only be subdivisions with streets, and essentially what this is going to let you do in the rural area is it's going to allow you to do the smaller lots with smaller frontage so long as you preserve a parcel that's at least 5 acres in size that preserves some sort of natural features, and we'd still play that average game, so you're only averaging 1 house or lot for every 1.8 acres. Both these concepts are something that came out of our comprehensive plan that we just completed and had support from both the housing subcommittee that was made up of realtors, builders, developers, but also our agricultural subcommittee. And their main support for it was, let's get all those driveways and let's get all those mailboxes off the county road or the state highway and develop subdivisions with internal streets and get that stuff off the street so we can still get our equipment up and down the road. So the comprehensive plan, looking through it, a reduction in the minimum lot size is mentioned over 19 times. That is just a listing of all the places it's mentioned. It came up in open houses in Cecilia. It came up in open houses in Ronnieville. It also came up in our various steering committees on both the housing side and the agricultural side. So the main goals and objectives here in the comprehensive plan that support this is goal 1, housing. Promote Hardin County as a place to live. It hits on our need for housing growth, housing affordability, as well as housing availability. Objective 1.4 is going to be support a supply of housing that responds to population and employment growth, which we are definitely experiencing. And then action steps. This is something new that the comprehensive plan has now that it didn't have before, but some of those action steps are evaluate the findings from the Chamber Industrial Foundation, ECT, and Baptist Health Hardin study and determine if any impacts should be considered by the Planning Commission for future housing growth. Evaluate the zoning regulations to determine needed amendments to support housing affordability and availability, specifically minimum lot sizes, density, permitted dwelling types, and zoning incentives to encourage rehabilitation or infill. And then lastly, number 6, evaluate reducing the minimum lot size in the rural area. So something that folks definitely were requesting and we heard loud and clear. Just to go a little bit deeper, goal 2 here, provide adequate recreational facilities and open spaces. That's something that we're trying to do with that open space design. So you might have a pocket park in a development, or you might preserve a pond or a stream, or just some productive farmland. Goal 4, encourage development that is sensitive to the environment, non-renewable resources, productive farmland, and natural areas that reinforce the county's rural character. And then goal 8, we want quality development that is compatible with surrounding land uses and responds to market demands. So I would present to you all Planning Commission Resolution 2024-012 with these 2 proposed text amendments to the county zoning ordinance, citing goal 1, objective 1.4, and then action steps 1 and 2. And again, a favorable recommendation on this matter is within this resolution signed by Chairman Mark Hent and myself, adopted on 21st of May by the Planning Commission.
Adam, do you care to go back to your slide that had the additions in red and green?
Mm-hmm.
I just want to make sure it may just, there, thank you. I just want to make sure the court members know exactly what we're changing. When I sent you all a copy, I had it bolded. I don't know if it's just my printer, but the copy I brought today, it's really hard to see what's bold. So I just want to make sure that you all can see that, and that's a really good way to see it.
And the other minor change here, just to spell out everything, we used the word disposal systems, which these are the only 2 instances in the entire ordinance we use the word disposal system, so it's a septic system. So we updated that as well.
If you don't care to keep that slide up in case you all need to glance at it before we vote, so if you can do that, yeah, thank you.
Anyone have any questions?
Adam, you and I have talked about this in the past. For 13 and a half years, 2 things I've heard from developers, lot size and road width. Would you, just for the public and maybe the court members don't know, why the width of the road is 18 feet instead of 16?
Yeah, so nothing's changing here currently with that. So presently, the zoning ordinance says to construct new streets, so develop a neighborhood, we'll call it. You need to intersect with a county road that has at least 18 foot of pavement width and a dedicated 40-foot right-of-way. The reason we have that rule is Santa Fe subdivision out on Upper Colesburg Road. We did 160 lots. Upper Colesburg Road only has 16 foot of pavement width and no dedicated right-of-way. So even if the county had the funding to widen that road, we don't have the right-of-way to go in there and do that. Bill Hay, back at the time, tried to go door to door. Will you give us right-of-way? Nobody wants to give something for nothing. But if you've ever driven that road, especially if it's trash collection day, etc., it's difficult for 2 vehicles to pass on 16 foot of pavement, especially trucks get bigger, towing mirrors, etc. So previous county engineer Charlie Allen and I had reached out to the University of Kentucky and said, hey, will you give us some accident data statewide? And what's the threshold for when it makes a road less safe? And overwhelmingly, the data we got showed we should leave that at 18 foot. Now, the zoning ordinance goes 1 step further, and any road that is less than 16 foot wide, so really difficult for 2 vehicles to pass at speed, if you're on a road that's less than 16 foot wide, you're at a 5-acre minimum lot size. We don't propose to change any of that right now. And again, I don't know that we want to encourage developments on 15, 12, 10-foot wide roads. We have many, many roads out in the county, and Michael and Dwight could attest to this, that were essentially somebody's driveway that got paved and probably had no business becoming a county road. So you can create a lot on that road and you can build a house on that road, but it needs to be at least on 5 acres.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Appreciate the explanation. Very well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next agenda item, written reports, and those are in your packets. The next item on the agenda is the citizens' concerns and comments. Do we have anyone here that wants to make any comment at this time? Okay. With that, we'll move on then to ordinances, and we have 2 ordinances to vote on today. The first one is the second reading of ordinance number 332-4, series fiscal year 2023-2024 budget amendment. We had this first reading, I believe it was last month, that we read this, and this is basically the typical year-end amendment that we need to pass. So I do need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Clem. Who seconded? E.G. Thompson?
Either one.
Patsy? Okay. That's why I'm asking now, because it gets a little confusing for the minutes. Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Squire Clem.
Yes.
Squire Hicks.
Yes.
Squire Muse.
Yes.
Squire Pennington.
Yes.
Squire Saltzman.
Yes.
Squire Thompson.
Yes.
Squire Whitehead.
Yes.
Squire Yates.
Yes.
Judge Executive Keith Tall.
Yes, motion passes. All right, our second ordinance today is the first reading of ordinance number 269, series 2009, amendment number 3 of the zoning ordinance. And again, that is ordinance to approve all the things that Adam King just went over. Okay, so that's what we're doing today. So I do need a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Second.
Did you get those? All right, any discussion? All right, hearing none, we'll have roll call.
Squire Clem.
Yes.
Squire Hicks.
Yes.
Squire Muse.
Yes.
Squire Pennington.
Yes.
Squire Saltzman.
Yes.
Squire Thompson.
Yes.
Squire Whitehead.
Yes.
Squire Yates.
Yes.
Judge Executive Keith Tall.
Yes, motion passes. All right. Next, we have our consent agenda. I'll summarize these quickly. First 2 items are financial. The first one is June claims and May utility claims and May election claims. And then the second item is Resolution 115, and this is related to the step and grade salary increases and the 2% COLA per the approved budget. And of course, I explained all that during that process of budget approval. The other financial item is down in item L, and it is Resolution 125, and that's related to some financial transfers. The next 6 items, C, D, E, F, G, and H, which are Resolutions 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, and 121, all deal with job description changes and then the related increases and adjustments to salaries for the finance department, for E911, and for emergency management. The item I is the approval of Resolution 122, and this is a EMS surplus 2016 Chevrolet van. This is to sell this vehicle. This is basically an ambulance that's been used for parts for several years. and it's ready to go into surplus, be sold. The next item is Resolution 123. This is related to appointing William Bill Hartley to the Hardin County Water District Number 1 Board. This is to finish out a current term that ends August 31st, 2024, and then to a 4-year term after that. Item K is approve Resolution 124, and this is related to SAP, Kentucky Department of Correction Women's and Men's Drug Treatment Program at Hardin County Detention Center. This releases up to $242,000. It's a MOA, Memorandum of Agreement with the state, basically for these funds as needed. Then we have a personnel Resolution 126 for EMS personnel. And then finally, we have Resolution 127 related to Hardin County Coroner and Fort Knox, Memorandum of Agreement with them. And I think that covers all of the items, and so I do need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So move.
Second.
It's been, got it? Okay. So we have a motion, a second. Any discussion?
Yes, sir. I would just like to clarify today's vote. I voted no last month on the budget. I still don't support the budget. Resolutions 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, and 121 are now formalities to that budget. Excuse me. And although I do agree that we have some awesome employees who are deserving of these raises, I just don't think that the shortfall that we have right now is the time to be passing out big raises like that. As my colleague, Mr. Yates, said last month, when you find yourself in a hole, you need to stop digging. And so I just wanted to clarify that I did not support the budget, but I will be passing these as a formality.
Okay. Any other comments?
I just want to kind of echo what Kenny just said. To me, it's not about deserving, it's about affording. So that's the reason I voted against the budget. But again, this is more of a formality, so I will be voting yes on the consent agenda.
Okay. Anyone else?
And I echo Magistrate Yates and Saltzman's comments. The way I voted on the budget, I voted no. And to be consistent with the way I voted on the budget, I probably cannot approve these resolutions. Thank you.
Anyone else? All right. Hearing no other discussion, we'll go ahead and have roll call, please.
Squire Clem.
Yes.
Squire Hicks.
Yes.
Squire Muse.
No.
Squire Pennington.
Yes.
Squire Saltzman.
Yes.
Squire Thompson.
Yes.
Squire Whitehead.
Yes.
Squire Yates.
Yes.
Judge Executive Keith Tall.
Yes. Motion passes. All right. Let's move on to any comments, and our county attorney.
Just briefly, I wanted to kind of give you all a report on the treatment coordinator that was hired by my office in January. She has now assessed 26 people who are court involved. 19 of those have been referred to treatment, and of those 19, 14 are in treatment and compliant right now. So we see those numbers grow every month as she's visiting treatment centers, finding the ones with integrity that we're willing to refer to, and monitoring those. So I just want to give you all that brief report.
All right. Thank you. Do you have any comments for the county clerk?
No, thank you.
All right. All right, we'll move on then to our magistrates. Magistrate Yates.
On behalf of Mayor Cerisi, I would like to invite everyone out to Rocking on the River, which is the third Friday, June 21st, from 6:30 to 10.
Very good. I already have it on my schedule, that's for sure. All right, Magistrate Saltzman.
I have nothing, sir. Thank you.
Magistrate Whitehead.
Just want to remind everyone that the Resources and Community Support Committee meeting is Monday, June 17th, 3:30 on the third floor here at the Government Building. Also, again, I want to express my condolences to the families of Bill Wiseman, Dwight Preston, and some others, some that we've experienced loss with lately. We had two young ladies who were taken from us way too early due to automobile accidents and illnesses. And it's just it's sad that, but it's reality. So just hug the people you love, tell them how much they care, how much you care for them, and don't wait to do something tomorrow. Let them know today, and just embrace what you have today, and feel blessed with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Magistrate Clem.
Thank you, Judge. Remind folks, Finance Committee meeting next week, June 18th, 3:30 across the hall. Also, a constant reminder, please don't drink and drive and don't text and drive. Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. Magistrate Pennington.
Yeah, I just wanted to, again, express my appreciation for our volunteer firefighters and going above and beyond the line of duty to get things done and helping out other partners in our community. Again, with our sheriff's office, the deputies, doing their job and doing it the best that they can. So thank you all. And again, just express my condolences for Bill Wiseman and his family.
Thank you. Magistrate Thompson. No further comment. Magistrate Hicks.
Just a short reminder, we've lost 5 people now with Dwight passing in my little community, right in the Cecilia area. And I just want to just tell everybody, none of us is guaranteed tomorrow. None of us is guaranteed the next hour. And if you don't know Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, you're taking a great big gamble. There's 2 places you're going to spend eternity. One is in heaven, and one is in hell. And I hope everybody passes. We'll see each other in heaven. I don't want nobody to have to go to hell. That'd be a terrible place to spend eternity. So those 5 people, I think they were all Christians, but and I hope and pray they were. But just if God calls you, just be sure to be ready.
All right. Thank you, Magistrate Muse.
Just a reminder, the next Public Works Committee meeting's this Friday, June the 14th at 3:30 across the hall.
Okay, thank you. So my reminder then is next Fiscal Court meeting. It's Tuesday, June 25th at 5:30 right here in this room. All right. So before we go into closed session, just a note that, of course, you're welcome to stick around if you'd like. There's not any plan for any business to happen after the closed session, so that is completely up to you whether you stick around or not. And so at that, I move to go to closed session pursuant to KRS 61.8101G, discussions concerning a specific proposal if open discussions would jeopardize the siting, retention, expansion, or upgrading of a business. Is there a second?
So moved.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Squire Clem.
Yes.
Squire Hicks.
Yes.
Squire Muse.
Yes.
Squire Pennington.
Yes.
Squire Saltzman.
Yes.
Squire Thompson.
Yes.
Squire Whitehead.
Yes.
Squire Yates.
Yes.
Judge Executive Keith Tall.
Yes. Motion passes.
Yes.
Okay, is there a motion to adjourn? A second?
Second.
Second.
All right. Any objections? Meeting adjourned.